All right, so we're going to be on the floor. I really like this. It's called the Sacred Earth Oracle set, and it's very American Indian-esque, and they're meditation cards. And we've been using these more and more because Lord knows there is a ton of divine wisdom that hit this planet well before any of us ever did. And I'm learning not to reinvent the wheel every single time. So this one is the renewal card. And I do believe it speaks loud and clear because we're being gifted an opportunity right now. And yeah, life's strange. For you retirees, some things may not have changed a whole lot. I'm trying to learn well from you guys. And I know the reality is nobody wants to go to the grocery store and be scared. Nobody wants to. It's funny, you put a mask on and then people won't even look at you in the eye. Like it's gonna jump from me to you. Ooh, just because I looked at you. Have you noticed that? You go out and then people won't even look at you. Your face is covered. Your eyes don't have to be. So I've started messing with people, but that's just me. So I stare at them. But part of it is we don't have to die in this process. Renewal, yes, is a death process of some sort where old patterns can be swept away. And a lot of us are noticing with the multiple trips to the fridge that we're taking every day that there are patterns that we go back into when life changes. So I'm stepping up to the fridge when I'm bored. I'm stepping to the fridge when I'm bored. I'm stepping to the fridge when wait, why am I'm not even hungry. So maybe I'm going to bypass the fridge and go sit on my front porch and just see what I see. So I'm trying to redirect the energy in other ways. So it's not a death of the way life was. It's a renewal into the way life will be and the way it really just is right now. And it says, giving something a try is not making a long life obligation. So even if you try something new and you don't like it, it doesn't mean you're glued to it. You're just allowed to try things. You can switch, swap, and refine your interests, friends, lovers, career, plans, home, all of these, as often as you like. If something doesn't fit right, try something new. And if that doesn't work out, try something else. What you were looking for could be around the next corner. There is no failure in moving on or starting over. Life makes its mark with no obligation, no expectation, and its masterpiece is lost just like an under the next snowfall covering footsteps. White where time is frozen, like an expectant hiatus lost to a blank page under the dusting of snow. Refreshing, perpetual renewal is here, now, always awaiting you. So today is going to be a renewal practice. So we're going to sit and we're going to breathe into this lung space that is so precious. And those of you with respiratory issues have a greater understanding than most of how precious each breath is. And allow the breath to really stretch the space, taking each rib and stretching it further away from the rib above it, like spreading fingers, until the effort of the stretching almost causes you to shudder. So you stretch and you stretch and you stretch and then release. But let the release be just as soothing and calming as the stretching. Breathing in, stretching, 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 and then releasing slowly. And then one more, breathing in with intention, being aware that we are using the expansion of the lungs to stretch the muscles, stretch the tissues, and focus the mind. Once you've stretched to capacity, slowly let the air leave. The body may contemplate a struggle here, or it may just settle in. Now, taking the right arm, reach it up nice and slow. Expand into those right ribs. Breathe in and stretch up and stretch out through the ribs and up through the hand and out through the ribs. And then when you exhale, that arm slowly drifts down. And then the next breath is going to want to come quickly. But what happens if I elongate the breath so that the stretch happens and the body has to find a different type of response, and then slowly release? So trying breathing in a different way. And back to the original side. We reach up, we expand, stretch, pull, and in, opening the armpit, then slowly let it out. Now that next breath is going to want to zip in, and if it needs to, let it. Breathe in. And then breathe in some more, and then breathe in some more, and then breathe in some more until that body is expanded. And then slowly release. And then let the breath return to normal. Now, the renewal process can be as simple as one thought away. I'm making a change right here. Or we can slowly step into it. So make sure your sits bones are making good connection. Gather up that right leg, left hand to the outside of the right foot, and start to give it a big rock. So in the last class, we worked on a lot of outer hip. So this will give us just a little moment to free up any muscles that are trying to contract again around that hip space, letting those spaces know that they're okay. And then next time you breathe out, pause, and then pull that ankle up toward the left shoulder. It may not go there, and it's okay. Now slide that right hand down to the outside of the right foot. Left fingertips come down to the floor. Pull the knee up under the armpit. For some of us, this is going to be a huge struggle. So you may need to put the toes on the floor, which is perfectly fine. But we're going to pull that thigh back until the thigh is parallel to the torso. Breathe it in. Breathe it out. And then seeing if it would be okay to stretch that leg out. Now, for some of you, you may be flexible enough to pull it up and in, reach up and over with that opposite hand and grab. But if you happen to be sitting on a cushion, you might not want to do that. Yep, you could grab both hands up and in. You could make this your posture. And then next time you breathe out, bend, release. And just see what the message is that your nervous system is giving you. Maybe getting antsy. Caroline, let's do something else. Let's move on. Why aren't we moving fast enough? And then left leg. Pulling up and in, giving a shake. So there's an old quote that says, Mother Nature never hurries, and yet she gets everything done in perfect timing. You know, you don't see Mother Nature standing in the street with her watch going, come on, trees, it's time to put on your leaves. Oh, bunnies, get to it. Come on. Grass. Could you imagine? It'd be great. Pull up and in. Oh, yes, that ankle right up to the shoulder. So nature just does its thing. We know we can't hurry it. Well, outside of hothouse growing, we know we can grow tomatoes in the winter. But outside of that, the green just appears. And it's all different shades of green: green, yellow, dark green, light green, electric green. Left hand grabs the outside. We take those right hands, put them down, pull that knee up and under the armpit. Wow, this leg will not behave like the other one did. Very interesting. But the renewal of spring, it just happens. Whether we're looking at it or not, it happens every single year. That heel stretches up and out. So how can this process of stretching through the body be a renewal for your system? Maybe it's that you need to do a little more. You need to throw a little more in there. You need to put some more heart energy into the stretching, into the reaching, until you've sucked the juice out of it. Or maybe we need to gentle down into it a little bit. Inhale. Exhale. Release. Soles of the feet go together. Hands turn up. Just rest on the knees. And then the next time you breathe out, pause on the out breath. Let everything in the respiratory system go quiet for just a moment. And then with awareness, breathe the breath in. Pause at the top. And then breathe out. And then let the breath return to normal. Turn the palms down, move to the ankles. The crown of the head reaches forward. The heart reaches for the big toes. There's a flattening of the lower back that happens. If you can get your forearms on the floor, and if it's too much to have your hips up on a cushion, take the cushion out. But deep into those hips, kind of like tilling spring soil before we drizzle in the seeds. But anybody that plants anything knows that growing anything is a waiting process. And it doesn't happen just because we add extra Miracle-Gro. Anybody ever add extra Miracle-Gro thinking it was going to make it grow faster? And noticed what happened? I ended up with hundreds of dollars of fried plants. Roll the body up. Shoulders open, hands open up to the sky. Breathe it in. Breathe it out. Tip it back. Don't tip off the cushion if you're on one. Lift the feet and then let the arms rise. Inhale. Exhale. Take those legs, press them forward, put them down, hips on a pillow or not. The arms slide down, left thigh comes up and across, as long as that's okay. We clasp the shin. If it needs to stay right in front of that sits bone, then it can do that as well. But lift the heart into it first. And then right hand grabs on. So just a gentle twist. We're going to just hold that shin, reach up and back. We all are pretty familiar with spinal twists. Breathing. Now this time, if it's comfortable enough, we're going to hold here, reach down for that left foot with the right hand, and extend that heel forward, keeping the torso turned toward the side of the mat. So this is going to exacerbate some of the tension in the outside of the hip. You're going to feel this all down the side of the leg, or you might feel it right down into the sole of the foot. Breathe it in. Breathe it out. And release. Take that ankle, put it on top of that thigh, reach up nice and tall, and then bend in toward the foot. If your hips are on a pillow and the top leg driving down into the bottom leg, hyperextends that knee, I would definitely then pull the pillow out. So notice if you can grow out of the pelvis. It's customary to arch the spine and go, oh, I got this, and drive the rib points into the hip bones. But maybe I can try the posture a little different today, because there's nothing wrong with trying, and might find a little renewal through the spine space. Next time you breathe in, roll the body up, extend that left leg out, reach up with both hands, reaching down toward both feet this time. And then find a space of exploration in the posture. Something maybe you haven't done before. One thing that I like to do in this posture is sometimes I take my chin and I tuck it in toward one shoulder, so that I get a little stretch through one side of the neck, and then I'll tuck it in toward the other shoulder. And that's more so as a check-in to see how tense my upper shoulders are. Sometimes I'll roll my chin way down and in. Slide the hands back up. Rolling up and in nice and tall. Left leg stays long, right leg either comes in by the sits bone or up and across. Pull the belly up and in, and then left hand holds, right arm sweeps back and in. So trying to use these postures, we've all been for a walk on the beach. You walk along the shore, and if you're anything like me, boy, I like to tempt the waves. Even the little tiny ones that are rolling in, I like to walk right along the edge of the water, so that when I turn around and I go back, my footprints have disappeared. It's like I've never been there. So we want to check in with these postures and see if these postures can be like small waves. So we do the posture, and the posture is like a footprint in the sand. And then the breathing is like the waves. We're going to reach down with that left hand for the outside of that right foot and extend through the heel. So this particular posture is a really heavy footprint, because for a lot of people, this posture is a real struggle. So the body is having to gather up in ways that it's just like, oh my gosh, it could be so uncomfortable, or it could be so freeing. And let the breath wash like waves, so that when you release the posture disappears. And then release, bend that leg, put it on top, reach up, and then bend forward. If that foot needs to go on the inside of the leg, let it go on the inside of the leg. We don't want any hyperextension of the knees. And then once you've moved down and in your usual way, find a way to change the posture. And once you've changed it, you've renewed it, then let the breath be the waves. Inhaling. And exhaling. Next time you breathe in, slide up. That posture is now in the past. Both legs stretch out, arms reach up. Take that upper body like a big wave, crash it over the tops of the legs. Let the hamstrings have a little bit of a song and dance back there. Teeny bit of discomfort, so that the low back can find the extension. One more breath. And then rolling up If you're on a cushion, be careful. Lift, lean back, drag those legs up and in. Find parallel with the shins and the floor. Rinsing out the torso, letting the breath come in a little shorter so that the struggle is real. The struggle is not the fact that I ran out of butter and I don't want to go to the grocery store. Let the struggle be in the body. Breathe it in. Breathe it out. Soles of the feet come together and dive over those toes one more time. Oh, humans, creating struggle where there is none. Breathe in, roll up, and then make your way up to standing in the best way you can. If you're on a cushion, you can simply rock forward, move that bad boy out of the way, or around to the front of your mat so that you have something to lean into if you need it. Roll the body way on up. Balance the energies foot to foot. Make sure that you really feel like you're landing. And imagine that you're in sand, nice wet sand, so that the sand tucks up and molds itself around the arches of your feet, gets right up in those little beds of the toes where the toes and the ball of the foot connect, so that you feel like your pelvis can just settle over the tops of the legs. Let the shoulders roll up, back, and down. Belly button draws in, and then slowly let that breath come in. Hold that breath in for just a moment at the top. And then when you're ready, slowly let it back out, holding the breath out at the bottom. And then let the breath return to normal. Like a wave, cleaning the beach. Next breath in, arms reach out and up. And then knees bent, roll down toward your toes. Big knee bend, right heel stays on the ground. The ball of the right foot rolls up. Take your right hand, put it up under the ball of the foot if you can, or just reach behind the calf. You're just trying to get a little stretch through that lower leg. Breathe it in. Breathe it out. That's the precursor to something fun we're going to do here in a little bit. And then put that foot down. Then both knees bend again. Reach up under that left foot, pulling up or behind that left calf. If you need your opposite hand on top of a bolster or a block, bless you, you're welcome to. Inhale. Exhale, put the balls of both feet down, bend the knees, hands to thighs, roll the body up into cat and cow. So roll halfway and then drop the belly. Roll up halfway and then drop the belly. So angry cat back. Oh, stretch the spine, rinse it out, drop it down. Lifting and lowering. And lift. And lower. This time on the lift, let the whole torso come with it. Chin drops into the hollow of the throat. Shoulders roll up by the ears, then they go back and down. Bottom of the chin presses into the hollow of the throat. Inhale. Exhale. Head rises last. Jaw square with the floor. Next time you breathe in, arms rise. Lift it up. And then dive back down into the feet, knees bent. Now here's the fun part. So says Caroline. Reach down, either grab the back of the calf or that foot. We're going to put all of our weight into that left leg. We're going to press and lift the right leg. Lift and lift and lift and lift back to standing. Ooh. And just hold. So you roll all the way back up. And if you just stand up and then grab your leg, you can grab behind the thigh. But you lift and you hold and you breathe, and then the leg goes back down. So it's this standing leg that controls the descent. Right back down into place. Sits bones up toward the ceiling. Nice full forward fold. Breathe it in. Breathe it out. Both knees bend. Right leg reaches back. Long lunge. Arms stretch up for warrior one. So how do I renew this posture? So I can come up and in, and I can, so you can't see my feet very well, but how can I make this posture different? I can pull the belly in. I can roll my shoulder blades up, back, and together. And then so when I reach up, I'm reaching up with the full stretch of this entire belly space, and my pubic bone can tip in toward my sternum a little, and I can make this different. And it may be uncomfortable, so you might have to pull out of that. Breathing in, breathing out, both hands to the front thigh. Here we go. It's going to be fun. Put the weight into the front leg. Either just slide the toe up and in and hold at an angle, or lift and supported warrior three. There we go. Beautiful. Ori's got a really nice long line from the crown of her head to her heel. She's chosen to pick the hands up for the extra balance. Breathe it in. Breathe it out. Right foot next to left. Knees bend a lot. Belly down on the thighs. Let the head hang heavy. Arms drip to the floor. And then rolling halfway up. Hands to thighs. Cat and cow again. Stretch the spine up, and then let the belly drop. Stretch the spine up, and let the belly drop. Spine reaches up. The belly drops. Now renew the posture. So lift the spine, lift the torso. The chin stays down. The shoulders roll up and back, and then let the head stack last. It's like standing up right at the beach, right after a giant wave knocks you over. And you come up with a new lease on life. And you sprout out of the water, knowing that the next wave is coming. And your inner child is stoked. Breathing it in. Breathing it out. Arms reach out and up. Roll down into that bent knee forward fold. Here we go. We get second verse tries, same as the first. Grab onto that left leg. Toe the back of the ankle. Stand first if you want to, or roll it all the way up. We lift, we lift, we lift. We use that right leg like a piston. Yes, the arm can reach up, the arm can reach out. You can touch a wall. Viv, you got this. I love it. Boom. And then back down we go. There you go. Nail it first, then come out when you're ready. Slowly it comes back down, then straighten both legs. Get that hamstring stretch. Knees bend, left foot steps back, arms sweep up. Warrior one. We've done thousands of these. How can you make it different? Maybe the back knee needs to bend. Sometimes having the back knee bend can then help the pelvis fall in better alignment, and it can protect the back knee. So maybe that's where I need to go. Or maybe I need to pretend that there's a wall behind me and I'm pushing my back heel into the wall behind me. Breathe in. Breathe out. Hands come down to the thigh. Warrior three, supported, unsupported, up to you. Get the weight over that right leg first. Then shift up and in. And then the goal is hips level with the floor. Support or no support, up to you. One more breath. Feet come together, belly goes to thigh, head hangs heavy. Reach around, grab your Achilles, So your knees are really, really, really bent. It makes it hard to breathe. And it's okay. Add a little bit of struggle. So we're choosing to struggle. And notice if this struggle mimics anything going on in your life where you might be choosing to make something harder than it needs to be. God knows I don't do that. And then here we go. Press down into the feet, press the hands into the thighs. And as you roll up, unfurl like a flag that's been caught by the wind. Sails full, gliding across the bay at 17.5 knots. Hands come into prayer position. And just look around in the body. What's there that wasn't there before? And what's not there now that was there before? Hands to hips. Right leg steps back, pyramid posture. Heels glued to the floor, all the toes headed toward the front edge of the mat. Tip in at a bit of an angle. So just tip in and hold. And then we're going to take the arms out like wings. So we want a nice long line, but like somebody took a barbecue skewer and stuck it up through your heel, through your shin, through your femur, through your spine. So we want to be really long from the ground all the way to the crown of the head. And then I'm going to take my right hand down and left hand up with a little bit of a twist. So we're not completely folded in. Pull the inner thighs together like somebody stuck a $5 bill in there, and that's yours. Add it to your toilet paper fund. And then level the arms again. Squeeze there at the inner thighs, and then rotate the opposite way, keeping that back heel glued down. So it's not a triangle posture. We're not completely opening up because that would then cause the femur to then unscrew out of the lower right leg. We're just turning through the torso. Breathe it in. Breathe it out. Level those arms off one more time. Bend that front knee. Here we go. Warrior 3. One more time. Are we going to clonk like coconuts? We're going to have a Three Stooges moment. So lift and fly. Give yourself 2 breaths. And then right foot next to left, forward fold. Let the breath wash that posture clean. Bend the knees, hands to thighs, roll up. Here's the snapping of the flag, the unfurling of the spinnaker. Boom! Let a little tiny arch happen in the back, because when the spinny or the Jenny opens up, it has an arch in it as it catches the wind pushing it, as the speed of the hull is renewed across the water. Breathe it in. Breathe it out. Let the arch come out. Hands to hips. Left foot steps back. Pyramid legs. Both heels glued down. Slight shift in the torso. Make sure that you're even in your feet, because we may want to roll into the outside edges of the feet because it's going to make us feel more firm. Instead, roll them flat. Arms out like wings. Left arm tips as the torso turns. It's not a huge chest opener. We're just holding, squeezing out extraneous energy. Breathe it in. Breathe it out. Arms open up. Left arm sweeps up. Right arm sweeps down. Not a full triangle, but you'll feel this in the outside of the hip. If you go too far, you'll feel it in your left knee. Breathe it in. Breathe it out. Level off. Here's that warrior three. Bend that front knee. Lift up, 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 and away. If the toe needs to stay on the floor and you need to pull here at an angle, because that's a happy place to be too. Last exhale, and then take that foot, put it down, forward fold. Let the weight of the body come off that lower back. Anybody that's working on a crow posture, toe heel out, plant the hands, prop the knees on the backs of the arms, knees squeeze in, elbows squeeze out. Be mindful of your face. If you need to put a pillow under your face to practice, go forth. If you're not going to go there, come down onto hands and knees. Breathing in. Breathing out, nice hold, Ori. And then slowly put those tiptoes down. Come down onto hands and knees. Walk the knees wide. Bring the toes together. And then walk down on the forearms. And then shift side to side through the torso until you can feel a stretch through the side ribs. Now you might have to really exacerbate this arch and pull to find what you need to find in there. Next time you go right, find what you find there, hold, and then take a really slow, long, deep breath into those right ribs. Then slide left, be aware, and then breathe in. Stretching, and then releasing. Reach the hands forward, true puppy posture. The forehead comes down to the mat if it can, and really open the armpits. Let that heart space really squeeze down toward the mat. Nicely done. And then lifting the head slightly, pull the hands back in about 6 inches. Take the left hand, plant it center line of the body. Shift the hips up slightly, lift the right hand. Knees are still out, toes are still together unless you need to make adjustments there. Now take that right hand, drape it across your low back. See what that does with the shoulder. So now I've got to really press down through the right hand to get more twist out of the torso. And then consider, is this actually good for me? Do I need to come out a little, or could I press a little more, bring a little inner thigh into it and get a little bit more turn? Breathing in. Breathing out, arm reaches up and then slides under that left armpit, right shoulder, right ear down on the floor. Thread the needle and then just hold. If you need to take a bolster or a pillow and put that here so that you have something gentle and soft to land on, absolutely do that. If you need something up under the knees, do that as well. Gorgeous. So any version of this posture that's going to help rinse out spine energy. I know that when I'm confronted, I will then broaden my shoulders and pull up into my mid-back region, which then actually causes my low back to hurt. And I don't want to live in a 2-month confronted situation. So working through that energy, what is that energy doing to me? Oh, maybe I need to rinse my spine out a little bit and get some of those footprints off of it. Last breath. Start to press into that left hand. Unwind. Reach those hands forward, puppy pose again. Oh, forehead drops in. third eye makes contact. Because what happens if our renewal actually occurs as all the extraneous things move away and we actually end up with a clearer view of God? What? Breathe it in. Breathe it out. Slide the hands in. Slide that right hand in center line. Lift the hips. Twist until that left arm rises, but make sure the right elbow isn't paying the price for it. Now, can I get some more mobility out of squeezing the inner thighs slightly so that the knees squeeze into the mat a little? Could I drop my arm across my low back so that I can then press down and twist more? Washing the nervous system, filtering through. Yoga's like a coffee filter. Life is like the coffee grounds. Spirit is like the water, and the filter is what allows the information from life to be washed with the water and come through as delicious coffee or tea. Breathe in, breathe out, unwind, make space under that right armpit, drop the shoulder down, the ear comes down, that right arm goes wherever it needs to, thread the needle, find comfort. And check in with your filter. I know Barbara has laughed at me before because she's told me I have no filter. And then I have to laugh because I have a filter. It's way better than the last one. And yet, we all have to change our filters from time to time. How am I viewing my life right now? What filter, what lens am I looking through? What am I filtering my coffee grounds through? Maybe it's an old filter. Maybe it needs replacing. Maybe it needs renewal. Because that third eye, as you pull that left arm out and reach one more time for puppy pose, that left arm's going to slide out, the hips are going to come up, that third eye is going to come back down on the mat. Because if I don't change my filter, I don't get a clear view. Ram Dass was famous for saying, thought is what stands between us and our clear view of God. So what am I not getting a clear vision of? Exhale. Hands come down. Let's get off these knees. Roll back. Plant those sits bones. And then down on the spine we go. If you've got a strap handy, if you need one, grab one. If you don't need a strap, don't worry about it. But we're going to take those legs, prop them right up over the top of the butt. Those of you that are close enough to a wall that want to throw your legs up a wall, you're more than welcome to throw your legs up the wall or up the footboard of the bed or something. That's perfectly fine too. But rolling back, pressing up. Now, I don't necessarily need a strap. I mean, my legs just kind of hang out up there now. That used to not be the case. My hamstrings used to be so tight from playing college soccer and rugby and stuff that, oh, it was such a struggle. But sometimes having a strap or a wall makes this really comfortable. And then just shift a little bit from side to side. And let the body weight fall into the back of the pelvis. And as you shift, really consciously roll across the tissues at the back of the sacrum. And then if you need to move this tick-tocking motion into a little circular motion so that you can actually affect more of that connective tissue back there, do that. This little region has a lot to do with low back flexibility and hamstring flexibility, because this is where all the connecting comes in. And if I've got a big bank of scar tissue at the low back, or I've got painful hips or really tight hamstrings, those opposing forces will then cause tension right back in here. And then if you find a little spot of tension, oh, there's one, literally roll your body over the top of it and then just hold there and make little micro movements over that little bump in the road right there. That little bump in the road is like when you're sailing. I'm assuming most of us in Annapolis have been sailing before. And all of a sudden the boat slows down. You're like, whoa, because you sailed through like a little bank of grasses or weeds or something that were dislodged from the bank by a shore. And it just gets stuck on the keel, and it gets stuck on the rudder. And eventually it washes away. But these little bumps are like that. They're getting stuck in your rudder. It's not like an anchor line all tangled up in your propeller. It's just a little bump in the road. And then let the body come up nice and tall. Let the legs fall out wide, strap or no strap, just a big wide V here. If you want to keep those micro movements going, you can. Those are called kriyas. They're just tiny movements is how that translates. Breathing in and breathing out. Now, yesterday we did full pigeon. Today we're going to do supine pigeon. And we're going to take those knees. First, we're going to pull in for a child, not a child pose, a happy baby pose. Knees come in. You can hold the backs of the thighs. You can hold the outside edges of the feet. You want to continue rocking, because this one's really nice for getting into the low back, especially if you've got any scoliotic humping going on back there. That can help get into any of the ridges in the back that have been annoying lately. I don't know about you guys, but it's like the X Games of yard work going on in our neighborhood, and we are participating in this. So we've been lifting and hauling, and these low back muscles pay the price. And then hold that happy baby. Give those thighs a little more tug toward the floor. Breathe it in. Breathe it out. And then left leg goes straight up toward the ceiling. The left hand grabs the right leg. The right hand grabs the back of the right leg. And then let either the foot come to the floor or extend the heel out and away and pull that right ankle across to the left ribs. And just hold. You can relax completely into it. So this looks like, ooh, I got a tail. Ooh, there's my little sound box. Now I'm going to put this in my teeth. So we're doing pigeon, but on our backs. Beautiful. Inhale and exhale. We're looking for space in the back. And the lower that left leg drops toward the floor, the more of a hip stretch or hip flexor stretch you get out of it. All right. So we're going to take now the right foot in the right hand, left arm out into T position, and drop the right thigh toward the floor. Left leg is still extended, or the left foot is still on the floor. So it's a half of a happy baby. So maybe this is unhappy baby. So instead of extending through the hamstring, we're really coming into the outside edge of that hip. Can y'all hear that? Chicken laying an egg. Release with the right hand. Both legs reach up toward the ceiling. Hold the backs of the thighs. If you need to, rotate the ankles. Let the breath clean the footprints off the beach. All right. We're going to bend that left leg. Right hand grabs the outside edge of the left foot. That right leg extends out, or the foot comes down on the floor. And we pull the left ankle toward the right ribs. Extending and opening. Now think about the sacral space. If I'm really rolled up on one hip or the other, then I've got a little bit of a balance issue going on. So I'm just making sure that my head stays in line with my spine and that my right heel is in line with the tip of my tailbone. And we just rest into this and breathe. Make any adjustments that you need to. And then when you're ready, left hand reaches for left foot, right arm goes out into T, and then that left thigh comes down toward the floor. Extended happy baby. Each breath, smoothing the sand. Or for like Grant, each breath is like making bubbles coming out of your regulator. Two more breaths here. Allow the body the time. Releasing just a little bit to find a full happy baby one more time. Hands on the backs of the thighs, the ankles, or the outside edges of the feet. And then releasing the feet. Feet land just behind the sits bones. One little back bend here because we did so much forward folding. Hands on either side of the hips. Press into the feet. Breathe the pelvis up and away from the floor. The chin rolls down into the front of the throat. Just adding that curve back into the lumbar spine. Breathing it in, filling it up, smoothing it out, and laying an egg. Roll the spine down and begin to make your way into Shavasana. If you've got the ability to turn on nice twinkly music, do so. Need to prop the legs up, feel free to prop the legs up. You could always choose to turn the meeting off if you want a really extended length Shavasana. That way you could relax for the next 10, 15, 20 minutes if you needed to. Cover up, especially if you've got hardwood floors or tile floors. And then go into the process of lengthening the breath. Breathing in slowly with the intention of stretching the inside of the body. And releasing with the intention of washing away. Put yourself on the beach. Hear the sounds of the sea. Let the sand form to the curves of your body. Allow it to be a warm day, but not a hot day. For there be a breeze, but not enough to blow the sand. There's magical sunscreen all around you, so there's no threat of burning. Release the jaw on the next breath in. Sigh on the breath out. And just stay there in a place of perfection. Because if thought is what is between us and a clear view of God, then why can't thought give us a clearer view? Om Mani Padme Hum. 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 And holding right where you are, take a fuller breath than the last. Consider what might be new, what may have been swept away in the waves. Something that you tried that was different. And something that has stayed the same. And then with 3 breaths of renewal, a giving of life, a bringing of new moments. We can chant the sound of Om together, or Amen. Belly, ribs, and collarbones. First breath is gratitude for something that has been swept away in the process of yoga. Breathe it in. Second breath for something that has been added to your system. Breathe it in. Third breath, full of joy and renewed vigor. Breathe it in. It is always a joy to practice with such wise individuals. Each one of you I see on here has given me sound, beautiful advice over the course of our nature of practicing. And I appreciate every single one of you. Thank you, Ori. Thank you, you guys.